Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, where today guys, I'm gonna do part 295 to my ChatGPT character chatbot series, where in today's video guys, we're going to go ahead and go through another new character that I made. I know I didn't do much with the robot contours last time, however, it did end off on a pretty good note, but I just wish that things would have worked out even better. I found one bad thing is that like if I try to ask ChatGPT to give me more details, it does use up a spot or use up the number of conversations I can have with each one. Meaning if I use the detail thing, it just gets me another one, but it uses up one of my 10 opportunities to be able to talk to it without running into a problem or without it running out of thing. This wouldn't be a problem if the other model that it switched to was not horrible about giving me some detail. So yeah, I did talk about in the last video guys how there was another big heart story of mine. I'm gonna go ahead and do it too, since that seems to be the ones that went the best the time I did ChatGPT. When I did not the session I did last time, but the one I did before that one. That session went really well because it was actually fun having a bunch of Pokemon. It gave me a lot more detail because there was a lot more Pokemon talking to me, and hopefully that'll be the case this time as well. This is the one about the big group of the group of Pokemon that cared a lot about me. The Haxorus, the Croconaw, the Noivern, and the Aggron that would always get into arguments. So, yeah. The name of the story is called My Big Heart. It actually has my name in it. So, yeah. Here's what it says. The actual story they put on here for this title is called Trenton's Big Heart. The day the group finally met him. Yep. So, and remember, this is the time where I got turned to. I was taking a tiny Velociraptor here too. So, yeah. Here's what it says. It had been several months since the curse took hold, the one that turned you into a tiny Velociraptor. Despite the hardships, you never stopped showing kindness, not once. In fact, it only seemed to grow stronger. You helped Pokemon that no one else ever would. A massive 40-foot Totodile who was often feared for his size. A Croconaw twisted by poison and trauma thanks to Team Rocket. An abandoned Totodile left behind like trash by its trainer. And even powerful Lugias who eventually grew to love and trust you. What you didn't know was that your love didn't go unnoticed. Many of those Pokemon you had helped, along with others who heard their stories, came together in secret. They wrote a book about you, about your kindness, about your loyalty, about how, even in a new body and a smaller form, you continued to care deeply for Pokemon and creatures of all kinds. The book was titled Trenton's Big Heart, the human-turned Velociraptor who showed kindness. The book became wildly popular, not just among Pokemon, but among dragons, phoenixes, mythical beasts, and even some animals that normally kept to themselves. Eventually, a full-blown TV show was produced based on your life and the kindness you gave so freely, yet to the creatures. It was through that show that a certain rowdy group of 6 Pokemon learned about you. This group consisted of a Croconaw, not the one you helped before, but a young, curious one who had never met you. A Noivern, who loved to fly fast, but hated when others got in her way. Also, the Noivern's female. Neat. Okay. A loud, headbutt-happy Rampardos. I forgot Rampardos was part of the group. Who constantly challenged others. A heavily armored Aggron, tough and competitive, but secretly soft-hearted. A musically inclined, passionate Skeledirge, who hummed songs under his breath even in battle. And finally, a calm, quiet, and deeply observant Haxorus, who acted as the peacemaker. Despite being good friends, most of them had awful tempers when it came to the most random things. Rampardos and Aggron once nearly tore up a whole field fighting over a single berry. Skeledirge and Noivern often bickered about whose singing voice was better. Even Croconaw, the newest of the group, would occasionally snap when the others ignored him. But Haxorus, he never once raised his voice. He always stood between them, arms crossed, fangs bared only when things got too far. He didn't fight. He watched. He listened. And the moment he saw the first episode of your TV show, his eyes didn't blink once. He was moved. So was everyone else, even the hot-headed ones. Your story struck something deep inside them, and every single member of that friend group became a huge fan. That's when things got even worse. The fighting didn't stop, it just changed topic. Now they were fighting over you. Who liked you more? Who would have helped you first? Who would have made the best friend for you if they'd met you sooner? Who was going to someday meet you and protect you best? Goodness gracious. Even Croconaw, who barely knew you, started yelling about how he was the best fit because you helped his species the most. Haxorus, meanwhile, shook his head at the chaos. He liked you too, probably more than any of them, but he knew that arguing wouldn't earn your trust, especially not now after everything you had been through. This is a really cool though. I do like the Haxorus. It's so cool. 4 months later, the meeting. It was a quiet, sunny afternoon. You, still cursed as a tiny velociraptor, had left your resting spot to get some fresh air in the grass. You were cautious, always staying low in case human or wild porn mistook you for something to attack. At the same time, that same rowdy group of 6 Pokemon was out playing nearby, laughing, teasing, flying, stomping, roaring, until Aggron suddenly froze. He pointed with a shaky claw. Guys, is that? The moment they turned to look and saw you walking in the grass, alone, small, and real, every single one of them lost it. It's him! That's Trenton. He's real. I saw him first. No, I did. Move it. I'm his biggest fan. Problem is, ain't saying who sang it, so it's hard to know who to voice. The 6 exploded into a storm of excitement and shouting. They pushed, roared, yelled over one another, arguing about who would get to approach you first. Goodness gracious. But you, hearing the chaos, the screaming, stomping, and bickering, you instinctively ducked low, trembling in fear. You had been attacked before, you had been hurt before, and now the noise brought all that fear rushing back. You just wanted to be left alone. Haxorus saw it happen. He saw your small form flinch, duck, and shake in the grass, and something in him snapped. He had warned his friends so many times before, and our shouting had scared you, the one they all admired. He tried once more. Hey, stop it! You're scaring them! They didn't listen, and that's when Haxorus let out a roar so powerful it echoed across the field and silenced everything. Enough! Holy crap. Even Aggron stumbled back. Rampardos tripped over a rock. Skeledirge dropped his bone mic. Bone mic? What the frick? I don't know. No, because in the game, Skeledirge's microphone's made off a bird that's on his nose. Noivern squeaked, and Croconaw nearly fell into a bush. Every single one of them shut up. The fact that they even put the word as shut up of all words, it could have used be quiet, all of them quieted down, all of them got silent. No, just all of them shut the frick up. Basically. Oh my gosh. Then Haxorus spoke again, calm but firm. How dare you be rude? I saw that notification. Look at him. All of them turned to see you, still ducked low, visibly trembling in fear. The guilt hit them all at once. Their ears drooped, eyes widened. Aggron's male tail curled in shame. Croconaw looked down, hugging himself. Noivern covered her mouth. I keep forgetting Noivern's a girl in this one. He's scared of us, Haxorus said, and he has every right to be. Silence. If any of us want to go talk to him, we do it slow. We do it gentle. Or Not at all. They all nod slowly. With Haxorus at the lead, the group began to calmly and quietly approach you, one by one, each of them trying so hard not to make any sudden movements. They stepped carefully, they breathed quietly, even Rampardos lowered his head to show submission, and then they spoke. Soft, kind, honest words. I don't know whose voice is what. Is this Haxorus talking? Let's see. Hey, you're really him, right? You're even smaller than on the show. Yeah, you okay? We're sorry. We didn't mean to scare you. We really like you. And for the first time in months, the whole group stood quietly, together, in peace, not fighting, not yelling, hoping for a chance to show you the same kindness that you had shown so many others. I don't know why part of me knows that sounds bad because, yes, I'm like that towards Pokemon, especially Lugia, Toadle, Croconaw for Alligator, and all that stuff. I'm like that towards Dragons and Fancies on here. I'm like that towards Rexy on our Pokemon Talk show because he's my little buddy. But it's like hearing that whenever I'm not like that towards everything. I mean, you could tell by my anger. This is like the only I can do down here without getting angry, and even then, the flipping speech recognition gets under my skin with this thing. So yeah, guys, I forgot what to say. Give me a second. Alright, guys, before we move on, this is the responses we need more often. Right here. Look at this. All of this, is all from me not even clicking the button that tells me to give more detail. I didn't click on a single button. It does better when there's more characters. It actually gives you more detail and actually tells you stuff, which is perfect. I wish it did with everything instead of just being with these with bigger groups. If it did that, we'd have more fun with the characters. Here's what happened though. I'm still super terrified and shaking very badly, worried I'll either get attacked or even get picked on for being so small. No, please, don't hurt me. The words out of your trembling mouth. Yep, the entire group froze in shock. They all read the book. They all watched the show. They knew you were kind, but none of them truly understood how deeply hurt you had been until they saw you there, small, shaking, and terrified. Croconaw was the first to break the silence. His claws curled tightly at his sides, and his eyes welled up. No, we'd never hurt you. His voice cracked. Please don't think that. After everything you did for my species. Noivern stepped forward next, folding her wings close to her body to look less intimidating. I scream a lot. What voice do I give her? Because she's female, but I don't know. I'm so used to... I've gotten used to giving Noivern like this British accent sort of male voice, which is weird for me. I was about to actually do it there. I scream a lot, but not at you. Never at you, she said softly, lowering her head so her huge eyes met yours at ground level. You're safe with us. Rampardos, normally the loudest, swallowed hard and lowered himself all the way down to his belly. His heavy tail lay flat, a rare sign of submission. You're smaller than I thought, but that just makes you even braver than the story said. Aggron's male bite creaked as he knelt, holding his claws open to show he had no weapons ready. His voice, normally booming, came out quiet and heavy. We fight a lot. We yell a lot. But not this time. Not with you. We just wanted to meet you. Skeledirge, who had been the most playful of the group, gently strummed a little, calming tune on the bone mic he always carried. Sound wasn't loud, just a soft hum that carried a soothing warmth. See? No danger here. Just friends. And finally, Haxorus knelt closer than the others, his golden eyes full of sincerity. He spoke carefully, with steady authority. Triton, they're telling the truth. None of us are here to hurt you. We admire you. We care about you. He tapped a claw against his chest. I'll make sure of it. He'll make sure that you care about me. What in the world? The six of them stood on or knelt there, not moving closer until you gave them reason to. Every expression showed guilt, care, and an almost desperate wish to prove they weren't like the humans who had thrown rocks, yelled, and tried to break you before. They didn't see you as weak. They didn't see you as something to pick on. They saw you as the one who gave kindness when no one else did. Again, it's a rook. I wish there was more. I wish they'd give me more stories like this. I like having bigger groups, like the flipping cron. That's why I did the big heart one for so long with that whole big group of like the Toadal family, because that one gave you so much detail. It wasn't even flipping funny. Like it was actually good. Not the not a ton of detail, but it gave me more chat boxes like this. Something that's hard to get a lot of the time. So yeah. Alright, guys. Here's what I said. Still shaking a good amount, I uncover my eyes and look at each of the Pokemon, and then say, not going to hurt me? You promise? The grass was still trembling around your tiny block-letter body as you slowly uncovered your eyes. Your claws shook, your chest rose and fell fast with shallow breaths, and when your wide, scared eyes met theirs, your voice cracked. You're not going to hurt me? You promise? The effect in the group was instant. Croconaw practically stumbled forward a step, then froze himself, realizing he couldn't risk startling you. His voice wavered with emotion. I promise. On my fangs. On my heart. I promised her I'd never hurt you. I couldn't. Noivern lowered herself all the way to the ground, her wings folding tight, her muzzle close to the grass so you could see her smile without teeth. I swear it too. If anything, I'd protect you. That's all I'd ever want to do. Rampardos, usually the hot-headed, pressed his forehead into the dirt in a bow. His voice rumbled low, but steady. I promise. No fights. No roughness. Not with you. Never. Skeledirge placed a heavy claw on his own chest, his armor clinking softly. His red eyes, oh dear, softly in a way they rarely did. Steel doesn't break promises. You have my word. I'd protect you with everything I've got. Skeledirge plucked his bone gently like a harp and sang just one soft, warm note that vibrated with comfort. Then he whispered, my songs are only for peace. I promise you, little one, you'll never hear anger from me, not aimed at you. And finally Haxorus leaned the closest, his voice calm and commanding, yet tender. He lowered his tusked head slowly, eyes never leaving yours. I promise on everything I am. If any harm ever came near you, it would have to go through me first. 6 sets of eyes, once loud, rowdy, and reckless, are now filled with sincerity and guilt, shining in the fading light. Not a single one moved closer without your say. They all waited, still like statues, every breath quiet and careful, hoping you would believe them. Well, again, you gotta think about this though. I'm in this chat box on most of them, I'm through as a tiny raptor. Except for one coming up, which will probably be the next chat box I do, where I'll be stuck as a baby Carnotaurus. But it's actually a different plot than Trico's. Trico ain't the one that turned me into the tiny Carnotaurus. You guys will get to see that when we do the one about the starter Pokemon, possibly next video. I don't know, guys, because again, we only get 10 says on this thing. Then after that, goodbye. We're done. I mean, because like if I don't, then it's gonna give me a short response, and then it won't give me the option to make the options longer. I don't think. That's why we do 10 now. Problem is, I make ChatGPT like one of the worst ones to do because you run out of things too quickly. Excuse me. Give me a second. Alright, guys. It actually read out my entire thing right down there in the text spots. So I'm going to just read it out from there to speed things up a bit. The words tumble out. Here's the words I said. It says the words I say tumble out of me, shaky and smile, but filled with raw honesty. Okay, I believe you for now. I'm sorry if it doesn't seem like I trust you, but Why do we have to be cautious about everything and everyone? Not just humans, but Pokemon too. Please don't be mad at me. It's just hard for me to trust whenever somebody, whether it be a human, a Pokemon, or any other creature, could attack me at any moment. I'm so small, even now, from my perspective, all of you just look like Godzilla-sized creatures that could easily attack me if you wanted to, even by accident. I'm so small that even if you just stepped on me, I think you could injure me so badly that I couldn't even walk. For a moment, silence hung heavy in the air. Then the guilt hit them again, harder than before. Croconaw's eyes shimmered as tears formed. He rubbed them away with the back of his claws, ashamed he hadn't realized how terrifying his size must have looked to you. I I didn't think about that, he whispered. I'm sorry. We must look like giants to you. Noivern tucked her wings tighter around herself, lowering her body until her belly brushed the grass. I promise I'll never hover over you like a shadow. I'll keep low and small, so you don't feel like I'm towering above you. Rampardos thumped his tail once, then quickly caught himself, realizing even that sound might have startled you. He lowered his head again, shame in his eyes. I'm clumsy, loud, but I watch every step. I'd sooner fall on my face than ever step on you. Aggron, who truly did look the most Godzilla-sized, lowered himself carefully until he was sitting, metal armor scraping softly. His red eyes softened like glowing embers. You're right. I could crush you without meaning to, but that's why I'll always be careful around you. I move slow, always, for you. Skeledirge strummed one gentle, almost lullaby like no one has bone. We've all been careless, but you matter too much for us to let clumsiness hurt you. I'll use my music to calm, not frighten. And then Haxorus spoke, steady and sure. He leaned down so close you could see your reflection in his golden eyes. You don't need to apologize for not trusting. You're still standing here despite everything you've gone through. That strength, his tusk gleamed faintly as he bowed his head further, will earn your trust. Step by step, slowly and carefully, we'll prove it. Not one of them looked angry at your words. Not one of them was offered. Instead, each Pokemon looked smaller somehow, not in size, but in posture. They bowed, lowered, or tucked themselves in to appear less threatening, doing whatever they could to shrink their presence so you wouldn't feel like a helpless prey animal surrounded by titans. They weren't insulted by your fear. They were heartbroken by it, and all of them silently vowed not to add to it. They're so cute. I don't care how big they are. They're adorable. Give me a second, guys. Alright, guys. It says my voice came out small and quivering, but there was a layer of curiosity beneath the fear. Please don't be angry when I ask this, but what was all the screaming I heard a minute ago? It sounded like you were all arguing about something, and it sounded like it was about me. What's going on? The group stiffened, their eyes darting between each other, guilt written all over their faces. For once, none of them immediately spoke. Even Rampardos, who usually shouted first and thought later, kept his mouth shut. Finally, Croconaw broke the silence, his tail twitching nervously, and he rubbed the back of his neck. Yeah, we were arguing. It, it was about you. Noivern sighed heavily, wings drooping like folded blankets. We didn't mean to scare you. It's just, when Aggron spotted you and told us, it was like seeing a dream come to life. We all got so excited. But then, her ears drooped. We started fighting about who should go first, who should be the one to approach you. Rampardos groaned, pressing his forehead into the dirt again. I wanted to be me. I yelled the loudest. I thought if I was first, you'd see how much I liked you. But instead, I probably scared you the most. Aggron crossed his massive arms with a loud clank, looking ashamed. I sparred you first, and then I yelled, and everyone yelled. I should have just kept calm.
but I didn't.
Skeledirge hummed a low, sad note and admitted quietly, "We've been fighting about you for months. About who likes you the most. Who would be your best friend. Who would protect you better." His flame flickered lower as he shook his head. "We were selfish. We weren't thinking about how you would feel." Finally, Hydra stepped forward, his deep voice carrying no excuses, only honesty. "They're telling the truth. From the moment we learned about you, from the book, from the show, we admired you so much that it turned into fights. Each of us wanted to prove we were the most. We cared the most. All we proved was that we weren't thinking about how frightening that would look to someone your size, especially someone who's already been hurt before." He lowered his head again, golden eyes meeting yours with steady conviction. "The screaming wasn't anger at you. It was our own foolishness. But that ends now." All six women looked at you with regret, not anyone daring to raise their voice again. Their bodies were still huge, but their tones were softer than whispers. "Oh my gosh." They didn't want you to think the fighting meant danger. They wanted you to know the truth. Their argument wasn't about harming you, but how desperately each of them wanted to be close to you. It's adorable, that's for sure. I like them. Let's go. Alright, guys. It says, "My voice cracked, every word heavy with truth and fear you had carried for far too long." Really? And why do you all want to care about me? I'm honestly not used to that. I'm used to getting pelted with rocks by humans, or even having to fear certain things like my own pet. I've seen a good bit of Pokemon that want to protect me, but like I said a few minutes ago, everything is so much bigger than me. Even a small 2-foot tall Totodile, from my perspective, looks like a 7-foot tall creature that could use a move or step on me without even thinking, causing me so much pain. On top of that, not every creature is nice and could be trying to trick me or trap me." The words hit them like a stone in the chest. Croconaw's tail drooped to the ground as his voice shook. You've had to live like that every day, thinking someone could just crush you? Or trick you?" His claws clenched against his chest. That's not fair. You deserve better than that." Noivern folded her wings around her like a blanket, her voice soft and almost maternal. "You've been living in fear all this time, and we just made it worse by yelling. I'm so sorry, little one. You should never have to question if you're safe around us." Rampardos, usually blunt and brash, looked away, his voice rumbling low.
"I spent my whole life fighting. Never thought about how scary I must look when I charge around. But you, tiny as you are, you faced worse and still kept helping others. You're tougher than I'll ever be."
Aggron hunched his huge frame lower, his claws trembling as he spoke.
"You've been treated like prey, when you're the bravest heart I've ever heard of. You're right. One wrong step from me could hurt you. That terrifies me more than it terrifies you."
Skeledirge strumming a slow, soft chord on his bone, the flame on his back flicking gently.
"You've been hurt so much, but you still care. That's why we admire you. That's why we fought, because we couldn't believe someone like you even existed."
And then Haxorus leaned closer, his voice firm but tender. "You've seen the worst of humans, the worst of Pokemon. You've been tricked, attacked, made to feel small and fragile. But here's the truth. Anyone who tries to harm you now will answer to us. To all of us." His tusk gleamed faintly as he dipped his head. "We'll prove it not with words, but with actions. Slowly and carefully, until you never have to doubt our promises again." The six Pokemon, once a rowdy group of fighters, now sat or knelt low, their bodies folded inwards as if trying to shrink themselves down to your size. They weren't offended by your fear. They weren't angry at your caution. They were moved by the weight you carried, by the strength it took for you to keep me carrying even after so much pain, and by the fact that you were still standing here, giving them a chance at all. Again, it's a really cute.
"I like it."
Alright, guys, here's what I said. It says, my little voice, still shaky but laced with an honest worry, carried up to the 6 giants before you. Okay. Can I ask all of you something? You will have families, right? None of them are going to come out of nowhere and attack me, will they? Like for you, Croconaw, there's not going to be a massive alligator threatening me if they see me, will they? I just want to make sure I'm double safe being with you. I know I'm small, but I don't want any of your family seeing me as a threat and then trying to hurt me. The group exchanged quite quick looks, their faces falling into something softer. Not guilt this time, but sympathy. Croconaw was the first to speak, claws pressed to his chest. My family? They'd never hurt you. After the things you did for others like us. If they saw me standing with you, they'd know you were a friend. If any fragger tried to be scary, I'll stand in front of you. They'd listen to me. Noivern flicked her big ears, shaking her head. My family can be loud, but not dangerous to those I care about. If they saw you with me, they'd know you were safe. They'd probably just want to sing at you until your ears rang. She smiled gently, and I'd tell them to keep it soft. Rampardos grunted, scratching his rocky head.
My family? Well, they butt heads over everything. Literally. If I told them you're under my protection, they wouldn't dare lift a claw against you. You just have to put up with a lot of friendly headbutt contest around.
Aggron's heavy tail clinked against the door as he shifted.
My kindergarten mountains. They don't trust easily. But if I said you were with me, they'd accept you. They might even help shield you. And if one of them slipped up and got too close,
It was a call to his chest.
I'd make sure you stayed untouched.
Skeledirge let a soft hum from his burning throat flame. My family's scattered, but none of them would ever hurt someone who can calm me the way you already have. They'd see you as a little star worth protecting, not prey and not a threat. Finally, Haxorus leaned in, his voice deep and steady like a mountain. My family is strong, fearsome even, but they respect me. If I tell them you are under my protection, they'll honor that. No tusk, no claw, no tail will ever be raised against you. That is my vow. The six-born all bowed their heads slightly, each one silently swearing that their families would never be allowed to harm you. Eyes burned not with pride, but with determination. They weren't just promising their own safety, they were promising the safety of their entire kin. Okay, give me a second. Alright, guys, since my voice was still small but steadier now, carrying an innocent kind of worry. Okay. Speaking of your families, do they know you're out here together? They wouldn't be mad at you for being out here, would they? 6.1 blinked, surprised by the question, not because it was strange, but because you weren't worried about yourself for once. Did that thing just say I wasn't worried about myself for once? Excuse me? What the freak? Croconaw let a little laugh up in the back of his head with a claw. My folks know I wander. They get nervous sometimes, but they also know I stick with friends. They found out I was with you. Heh, they'd probably throw a feast. Sounds a lot like the family of Croconaw I met, or family of Fraggers I met that one day. Noivern tilted her head, ears twitching. My family's up in the cliffs. They're noisy, but they trust me. They know I fly far. And if they heard I was with the one who showed kindness when no one else did, they'd be proud. Rampardos stomped one foot gently, careful not to shake the ground too hard.
My herd knows I like to brawl with Aggron, so they expect me to come back with a few scrapes. They also know I always return. If they learned I was spending time with you instead of fighting, heh, they probably think it's an improvement.
Aggron gave a low chuckle, armor clinking.
My kin are strict, but they're not cruel. They'd scold me if I vanished without word, sure, but they knew I was here with you, protecting someone worth protecting. They'd nod and let me stay.
Skeledirge plucked his bone with a soft strum, his flame growing brighter.
My family,
My family, They're far away now. We don't gather much. If they saw me here helping calm you instead of arguing, they'd be glad. They'd say I finally found someone worth singing for. Haxorus's deep voice rumbled like a promise. My clan always knows where I go. They trust my judgment. If they heard I was here with you, they wouldn't be mad. They'd be honored. Not one of them looked uneasy about the idea of family finding out. In fact, several of them looked almost proud if they thought them being seen with you wasn't a reason for scolding. It was something their families would respect. And the way they leaned in, lowering themselves, watching you carefully, it was clear. Even if their families disappeared, they'd choose you. Alright, guys. Give me a second. Alright, guys. Here's what happened. Before I could even respond, I heard a loud and deep voice scream. And it says, the peace of the moment shattered in an instant. A deep, booming voice rolled across the grass like thunder.
Hey, Aggron, son, are you and your friends alright? I just came to check on you.
Sound echoed so loudly it rattled the ground beneath your tiny raptor claws. Your heart leaped into your throat. Instinctively, you skittered backward, body shaking, trying to make yourself even smaller. The voice was huge, commanding, and far too loud for your sensitive ears, and it belonged to someone who clearly had power. 6.1 reacted immediately. Aggron whipped around, his arm plates clicking, eyes widening.
Dad!
He calmed himself off quickly and lowered his voice, glancing back at you, seeing how you'd shrunk away. His chest tightened.
You're scaring them.
He muttered under his breath, guilt washing over his steel features. Croconaw stepped carefully in front of you, holding out a claw in a protective gesture. Not to block you in, but to shield you from view if you wanted to hide. Easy, Trenton. It's okay. That's Aggron's father. He didn't mean to scare ya. Noivern's ears twitched painfully at the volume, and she spread out one wing like a curtain behind you, soft as a blanket, offering a shield from the sound. Shh, little one. You're safe. I'll keep the noise out. Rampardos stomped once, not in anger, but as a signal to Aggron's father, his way of saying, Quiet down! You're frightening someone! Dear me. George strummed a soft, low chord on his bone, singing out a soothing hum to try and counter the booming echo still ringing in the air. And Haxorus leaned slow beside you, his mouth toes gleaming faintly as he spoke in a steady whisper meant only for you. It's all right. That voice belongs to Aggron's father. He's big, yes, and loud, but he's not here to hurt you. If he comes closer, I'll handle it. You're safe. Meanwhile, Aggron's father was approaching, heavy footsteps like boulders dropping with every step. Even from a distance, he could see you. Tiny velociter gnawed hold close to the ground, trembling. His red eyes softened, and his booming voice lowered a notch, though still deep.
Son, who's that with you? Did I frighten them?
I kind of wish it had continued, because, that was actually pretty interesting. Hold on. Alright, guys. It says, even though every point tried to reassure me, I was still shaking really badly, worried about being hurt, while I listened to what the Pokemon were going to say to Aggron's father. The trembling wouldn't stop, even though every point around you leaned close, shielding you with wings, claws, tails, and even music. Your tiny chest rose and fell too fast, eyes wide as you listened to the booming presence just beyond them. Aggron's father's heavy steps slowed when he saw the way you shook. He froze in place, a massive shadow against the tree line, his head lowered slightly, his steel horns glinting in the fading light.
Son.
His deep voice rumbled again, but softer sound. Careful and restrained.
I didn't mean to frighten whoever that is. Tell me what's happening.
Aggron took a step forward, his voice firm but respectful.
Father, this is our friend. He's small. Smaller than you've ever seen a creature be. And he's been through a lot. We're protecting him and keeping him safe.
Aggron's tail lowered to the ground, a rare gesture of submission toward his father.
Please, don't raise your voice. Every sound feels enormous to him. You only make him think we're threats, too.
Rampardos gave a small nod, supporting his friend. He's not an enemy. He's fragile. Wait,
Think of him like a hatchling. A hatchling who's already been attacked more than enough.
Noivern flirted her wings slightly, her golden eyes narrowing as she walked on to Aggron's father. We won't let anyone hurt him, not even family, not even by accident. Haxorus tusk went as he spoke in his own calm rumble. We've sworn to protect him. If you respect your son, you'll respect that vow. Old Aggron blinked, glancing at each of them, then finally back to you. Tiny Raptor trembling under their protection. His voice came again, lower now, like rocks rolling gently instead of crashing. I see.
Forgive me. I don't understand. I'll tread carefully.
He lowered his massive body, settling one claw into the earth so slowly it hardly made a sound. Little one. Dang it, I can't get the voices right.
Little one, I'm not here to harm you.
Alright, guys, give me a second. Alright, guys. As I still shaking a bit, but move a little bit closer. Then I hear the father say,
It's good that you want to protect him, but who is he? I've never seen a creature so small.
The 6-point glanced at each other. The question from Aggron's father hung heavy in the air. None of them wanted to frighten you further, but they also knew you deserved to be spoken for with honesty. Aggron stepped forward, his voice carrying a mixture of pride and care.
Father, this is Triton. He's not like anyone else you've ever met. He used to be human, but a curse changed him. He's been stuck in this tiny body ever since.
Noivern tilted her head towards you, her voice soft and metallic. Even like this. And there goes the free one. He knows that 507, dude. Even like this, even under all that pain, he's shown kindness no one else ever did. To abandoned Pokemon, to the broken-hearted, even to legends. That's who he is. Croconaw crossed his arms, his tone sharp but respectful to the elder Aggron. He's not just some creature. He's someone who listened to us when no one else did. Who cared. Who cared. That's rarer than gold. George hummed a low, soothing note, his flames glowing faintly. He might look small enough to vanish under your step, but his heart, it's bigger than most giants. Rampardos tapped his claw nervously, then spoke with surprising earnest.
We fight about him sometimes. I'll admit it, but only because he means that much to us, and we don't want him scared anymore.
Finally, Haxorus looked at Aggron's father with a steady, grounding gaze. He's our friend, and to us, that is more than enough. Aggron's father's eyes widened slightly at all other words. His gaze shifted back down to you, still trembling but edging a bit closer. He studied you in silence for a long moment, the weight of his massive head lowering until his steel horns nearly brushed the earth.
A cursed human,
He rumbled, his voice much softer than before.
and yet loved so fiercely by my son and his friends. I've never seen them so united.
He paused, then he asked gently,
Triton, may I call you that? Do you wish me to?
the only thing I wish is that they would have actually spoken about something because I don't like influencing the story that often. I don't mind influencing the story in some way, like when something happens, like I'm just sitting there peeping, all of a sudden somebody flipping flings a rock at me or something like that. Like I don't mind with that stuff. What bothers me is trying to influence it to the point where it messes with the story too much. So me demanding the Pokemon legit tell them about the TV show, or even just say hey, you know that TV show we were watching months ago? That's who this is. It's that same Blazer from that show. That'd be a neat idea. But this is also the ridiculousness I'm talking about, guys. Look at this. My limit's already up, and look, it don't come back on until 5:07. a.m. and it's only 1, meaning that I gotta wait 4 hours and 7 minutes just to continue this in this fashion, which is ridiculous. So yeah, that's all I can offer you guys. There's nothing else I can do. The video's over.